folks, and we're back with another review and thoughts on, this time talking about Morbius, which is a Sony Marvel joint custody thing, and I'm not sure when this takes. I'm guessing this film takes place during or after Far From Home. Yeah, Far From Home, because the trailers, of course, allude to. Although it was weird where they showed Tobey Maguire's Spider-Man in the trailer, a picture of him anyway. But yeah, most of the stuff in the trailer, I believe, is not really in the movie, such as that picture of Sam Raimi's Spider-Man. But Morbius, how do I feel about the film Morbius? I gotta say, I kind of liked it. I overall enjoyed it. I liked most of what was going on, such as I liked the acting from Jared Leto. I thought he did a pretty good job. The guy Morbius, Michael Morbius, Jared Leto plays. I thought he did really good in the role. I liked the duality between him as a vampire and then him as a person, as a human form. The look of Morbius overall, I didn't mind. I thought it was decent. It was fine. I liked when he would morph at times, when he gets angry or whatever, or very hunger for bloodthirsty. The guy that played Milo, Matt Smith, I thought he did a pretty good job. He was a bit comedic, such as his character started to, as soon as he became a villain, he started to be a bit too humorous for me. Like he was sorta, there were times he was a threat to me, but then like he would do like stupid dancing around and prancing around. I wasn't a fan of that, making a joke pretty much of the situation. Because pretty much the character of Morbius, or Michael, pretty much Morbius, he has this disease. Him and his friend Milo, when they were kids, they had a disease, and pretty much Morbius, since the age of whatever as a kid, was as smart as Bruce Banner or Tony Stark. He made a life debt to his friend, or a pledge to his friend, that he would find a cure for them. And that cure just happened to be bat blood mixed with human DNA. Hence the character of Morbius, the living vampire. But yeah, I thought the CGI and the effects, I thought were fine. I know a lot of people probably crap. I know a lot of people seem to hate this film. I don't know why. I don't understand. When I first watched Venom and saw like reviews for like it's crap because Spider-Man's not in it, I didn't care. I was going to give the movie a chance anyway, because like I figured it's Venom. It's pretty cool. I liked Venom in Spider-Man 3. I think he should have been more darker, but but this film I was going to give it a chance. I meant to watch it way before, after it came out, but then other stuff came up, and then I decided to watch it now, and I guess I liked it overall. But I thought the acting was pretty good from everyone. Tyrese Gibson or whatever, I understand why he was in this, because his character, he plays a detective, a serious detective, and he has a partner, a comic relief partner, who makes little quips. I wasn't a fan of him as much, but Tyrese's character, like he seemed like I mean, again, I'm not familiar with the character more, like a hardcore fan of Morbius. I played Spider-Man 3. I know he's in that, the video game. I know he's in the animated 90s Spider-Man series for a bit. like an episode or two. But yeah, overall, I didn't really mind. I didn't understand his whole. I wasn't sure about the continuity stuff in this, because especially the post-credit scene, and then the fact that we got No Way Home, which I know a lot of people praise. But seeing how that movie ends and like the consequences of that film, how everything wraps up, and then you go to this film and the post-credit scene where you have Morbius with Vulture, Michael Keaton from Homecoming, which I liked that film. I liked him in that film as well. You have him at the very end of in the post-credit scene, and it's weird because they mentioned Spider-Man, but I didn't understand the whole thing of what I guess Morbius is going to meet up with Vulture because they both hate Spider-Man apparently now. Because Vulture's like, we should team up against Spider-Man, and then Morbius is like, I'm listening, or I like the sound of this, or something, and then it just cuts. That really ruins some. I know they retconned this film, I guarantee. I know there were reshoots with this trying to fix chronologically, like continuity in the MCU and stuff for this anyway, this film, but that two post-credit scenes at that don't make sense. But yeah, I would say if you don't watch, I don't want to say don't watch No Way Home, because granted, I didn't like the film, because I thought it was a letdown, a huge letdown. If you don't want to know why, watch my review of that. But yeah, I wasn't a fan of that film. I like Tobey Maguire in it. I wish he did more in it, but I think they should have went more. Never mind. But Morbius. This also, since I'm getting into another positive, I'll give this is a decent cinematography. I thought it was shot pretty good, I'll say. The fight scenes in this it reminded me a bit of Venom, which I wasn't a fan of that movie. I'm not a fan of those movies either, but I like the look of Venom, but like the whole humor, him trying to be a comedian, they should have been R-rated. Just like this has potential to be a way darker film than it was, because I guarantee it should have been an R. I don't know why. Well, again, Sony and Marvel, but then who made the Logan film? Oh, that was Fox, I believe. I think. But I mean, there's blood in this, but it's not like it's PG-13, of course. So you're not gonna see like Evil Dead type of gore or anything like that. But I mean, for people talking about there's no blood in this when people get cut, there's some. So that's inaccurate. They do show some. It's not graphic as it should be for a typical Marvel film. But overall, I didn't mind that. I like the scene where he takes out these mercenaries on a boat. It's in the trailer. I thought that was pretty cool. I liked his when he first goes Super Saiyan vampire. When he turns into a vampire for the first time and he takes out these mercenaries on the boat. I thought that was pretty cool. I liked how he can control bats as well. He can like fly with them, and they like give him extra boost in power, I guess, because he's able to fight his best friend at the end of the movie. I also liked it. Well, I was going to say I liked how they were ballsy enough to kill the love interest, but then not really, because then she awakes at the end, and I'm like, oh, you could have. I would have gave you major points if you would have just kept her dead. because I mean, she wasn't a bad or horrible character, but like, I like the fact that, they tried that for a minute, where, the Milo character kills her, and then she bites Morbius's lips, or lip, so he can taste blood, and then he feeds on her, or whatever. But yeah, she opens her eyes at the end of the movie, and then it's him flying with black bats, and then cuts the credits. But yeah, I wish they would have kept. They should have just kept her character dead, because then it would have been cool where, he. But I don't know, because it seemed like, what, is he a villain now, I guess? Even though I thought, I mean, granted, he killed his best friend, but that wasn't really his fault. His friend went mad with power. Also, I sort of get why Milo was the way he was, because as kids they would get bullied and made fun of for their diseases or disabilities or whatever. So I can see his character turning, heel. So where people are like, I didn't understand how his character just does a 360 of being a decent guy, and then he goes, like, they show at the very beginning, he gets beat up by mean people, or kids, other kids, gets made fun of, gets pitied for, as he tells the one doctor guy, who, the doctor that cares for him and Morbius, he's not in this a whole lot, but when he is, I liked him a bit. I liked his character, where he's the actor that plays Dr. Asher from Resident Evil Apocalypse. The guy whose daughter gets kidnapped or taken, and Alice and friends have to go find her in that film. That's who this doctor plays in that film. Yeah. Negatives, and I will give the film. I didn't like how people. Again, the continuity in this. So I guess people are used to, superheroes and stuff like that. I guess, because this is supposed to be what, New York, I believe, because they mentioned there's a newspaper of the Daily Bugle. So, or San Francisco, whatever. But either way, when Morbius, like, there's times when he's around, like Tyrese's character, for example, when he gets arrested at one point, which I didn't understand why he couldn't have just. But then they kind of clarify why he let them take him in, even though he had resisted arrest from the get-go, and then jumped on a roof and then tried to escape them, but then he decided not to, because Tyrese was like, that's enough. Even though he just saw this guy literally jump a bunch of, steps onto a roof, and I'm like, again, like, this guy, like Tyrese's character, he must be part of a secret organization or something, because the way he reacts to this stuff is not normal, as of most other people. His partner, for example, Morbius at one time, when they're interrogating him in the interrogation room, his face morphs for a minute, because he needs blood or whatever. He warns him he needs either, I forget what there's human blood, and then there's another type of blood. I forget what it is, but it's not human blood, but he needs non-human blood, really, he wants, but they won't give it to him. So then for a minute, his face literally, for a brief few seconds, his face morphs, and they like, whoa, calm down, or whatever. I'm like, hello, this guy literally, whatever. But there's like some instances where that happens, where he'll show like his face change, and people are just either, whatever. Like, their reactions are not genuine, normal. So I didn't like that portion of the film. I think they did reshoots of that. Just showed more people being frightened of a guy. Literally, his face morphs into like a demon or monstrous looking thing, and people are just like, hey, cut that out. Or even when he like throws people, and again he jumps up on a roof, able to defy gravity, able to do other stuff around in front of police, and Tyrese is able to make it all the way up the roof in like a blink of an eye, I guess. Because as soon as Morbius goes up there, Tyrese is already right there. And yeah, but yeah, his character should have been not even in the film because he doesn't amount to anything. He doesn't do anything. All he does is just walk around after the aftermath. He arrives with his buddy, and I guess another attack or whatever. And then they just walk. Then we get more scenes. There's time. Most of the movie's focused on Morbius and his friendship with Milo, them fighting each other. Although I didn't understand towards the end where Milo is like, I want to embrace my vampirism, but Morbius doesn't, so he doesn't like that. But then I love how he literally cuts like the side of his stomach or whatever, and then he throws them when they're fighting, like in the third act, like around town, around the city, into buildings, and then he literally buries them underground. They go like in a subway or whatever, cave or whatever, and like I didn't understand, like, is he trying to kill him after the fact? Because he kills his girlfriend, so I assume. But then he's like, I want Michael to embrace what he is. And I'm like, so you're gonna try to convince him to embrace him being a vampire, like you have, which at first I was kind of, because the fact that he needs human blood, or mostly human blood, to not go back to, his normal state, which is diseased, and he can't really walk normal, without like a cane or whatever, or like he'll, and he can't starve himself because then he'll be feral and primal and go berserk, rage mode, go rabid pretty much. But I liked scenes of him studying his limitations of this, ability that he had, and curse. I guess I already greenlit a sequel for this film. Apparently, now that I believe I saw or read somewhere, I guess they're doing a sequel to this, which I'm like, again, I guess we're supposed to either ignore stuff from No Way From Home, but then that makes no sense, because people are not supposed to even remember Spider-Man, nor his villains should remember him either, because he said everyone, so whatever. Anyway, I overall liked the film. I think it was not carefully as thought out as it could have been. And then, of course, the reshoots, I don't know what... I wonder what the alternate ending would have been, because I read when I was trying to get, like, an image of, the thumbnail. I saw reshoots drastically changed the ending or whatever. So I wonder what the original scenes for this film would have been, such as the ending as well. And if you just cut out maybe the post, if you just like ignore the post-credit scenes, then maybe you can kind of be okay with this and just go with it. But just go with it. Which I love that film. But But yeah, if you just cut out that stuff, the last few two post-credit scenes, if you just cut them out, you might be okay. You know, it might not be as jarring. But again, if they mention Spider-Man in the sequel of Morbius, which I believe they're doing a sequel, if they do mention his name, then I don't know what to say. I don't know what to tell you, because that makes no sense for people to remember him, nor people who even didn't meet him to begin with, and like are just randomly tagging along with other villains, because I guess Morbius is now a villain. Again, ending makes no. I mean, I guess that's why he's supposed to be a Spider-Man villain, but I don't know if he's really a villain in the comics as much. It seems like he might be somewhat of a good guy, maybe. But who knows? And again, I don't know what they're going to do with the girlfriend, because she survives at the end, basically. Now she's really a vampire now, in a way, because she, you know, whatever. Anyway, hope you enjoyed this. Leave comments down below. Please give the video a like, subscribe, share, and yeah, let me know your thoughts on Morbius and the MCU overall. What are your favorite MCU movies or dislike movies? Yeah.